Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 here with my continuing playthrough of Hearts of Iron 3 with Black Ice 8 and Third Reich events. Okay, hopefully this episode will get more time on the clock. Okay, now with these guys are hitting transports, we're gonna send off. More policing units to Brazil. I think we want them up here. Okay, we won the battle in Paramambo. Good, we took out 2 submarine flotillas. So they're doing their job. Oh, Haiti. I'll never join, but we'll sell them some supplies. Okay, rocket artillery ammunition is advanced. And I know I've covered the difference between standard German Army rockets and the SS rockets. Airborne assault tactics have advanced. That, I believe, is this one. Yeah, 1940, we'll let that go. Fighter ground crew training. 45. These guys will also end that one. Is that almost the next one? Probably not. No. We've got a lot of tech. This is the officer. Recruit program. Okay, that's maxed out. Well, since we were looking at this, let's go with close air support training as well. We still have more leadership. Okay. Well, just looking here. I know I'm not being sort of quiet. Oh, I know one area we could do. We can increase our radar capabilities for on our aircraft. Okay, yeah, they're cleaning up a few provinces there, but we're coming quick. Revolt risk looking, so we need another one way down here too. We've got some long range intercepts just to make sure that we cover the south down here. We're active. Theater, Japan. What is Japan on? Supplies, certainly Japan, you can have all the supplies you want. Ammunition capacity on our fighters has increased. Okay. Good. Oh, that's good. Pure goodness there. No negative effects on that tech. We are sending in supplies, I hope. Yes, good. And we have some air power here. I also brought in some other long-range fighters to dominate the whole southern area to intercept anything spotted up in the air. That's what's really good about those heavy fighters. They're not that good of a fighter, but they are good at... They got the range on everything else there, so that's... let's get rid of that crappy... this division. It's alright, but not as good as... is it that one? Yeah, that would be a better division. Attached to the Marine Corps there, so they're going to get those together and put them on ship. And these guys, get all of them and put them on ship. Now if you remember last time when we invaded Greenland, long battle. The American garrison didn't lose any organization. We didn't have many casualties, but it was just sort of a standoff, and then our ships ran into some attack from the Americans, and so just a propelled artillery brigade. So we abandoned the attack. Okay. So we've improved our self-propelled artillery. Looking for anything in 44 that we're not researching and we might want to. So we'll go with more of these. Waiting for a bunch of the seaplanes and float planes. I need more of them. Cover some of our areas where we're losing. How are we doing out here? No, can't board yet. They're still too disorganized. We've lost this airport. Well, maybe we'll parachute in to take the airport. Yeah, of course. Yes, you may have energy. Snow eases off. Well, that may help in Greenland. Don't know. Okay, we're already going in. Okay, propulsion advance. I believe that's for the torpedoes. Yes. You can see the distance is increased, but visibility is also decreased. Don't know why it would help on the torpedo boats so much, but the U-boats must assuredly, because one of the ways they'd sort of know where the submarines were to attack them is you'd sort of spot the submarines. One of the ways I believe you would propel the submarine, the propellers on the submarine, the propellers that propel, yes, is through compressed air. I believe that was one of the things. So when you release the compressed air, it would spin the propellers, but that also create a trail of bubbles, which draws a line back to the location of the submarine. So increased propulsion technology means that you're using, I don't know, electric or other means that don't show up so well, so it's harder to spot the submarine. Well, okay, visibility +2. We just reduced it. A bunch of these other. I think, well, we'll do the support submarines. I'm just, those really helped in the war. The Milch cows, as the Germans called them, the milk cows. They built some big submarines that would go out, and those submarines, of course, wouldn't be terribly stealthy. They generally did have torpedo tubes, but their job wasn't to shoot them. They would go up and meet out at the rendezvous and resupply, primarily with torpedoes, but also with food and water. Okay. Well, now looks like we're hitting hard. Oh, good. They're losing organization, so we're going to take it. Saudi Arabia. Sure, you can have supplies. Okay, great. We got them. So we're going to build a couple of runways there. Some anti-aircraft, a bunch of radar. And we'll also do some pillboxes just in case the Allies feel frisky enough and want to try to retake. Yes, I doubt they will, but not with everything else going on. But at some time in the rather near future, I hope to abandon my large garrison. Okay, some subs. And move in just a garrison defense force like here, this kind of a thing. Supplies for Athens, yeah, go ahead, we use that as a commando mission. Sabotage, not right now, I just don't plan on doing that at the moment. Okay, which one is this? Oh, armor plate thickness. That's useful. More thickness on the tanks. Slow them up some, but whoa, the Fallschirmjäger. Yeah, we'll do this. Okay, well, we'll lose a bunch of currently. Do the production queue route. That'll be cool once it's built, which won't take too long, of course. And okay, well, we've got the coastline. That's what we needed to get. Put these guys out here patrolling. And which... okay, that's a decent invasion force. Escort, so we'll load them on board. The Jaegers, they should get off pretty quick. That'll probably be enough. Right now I don't want to over garrison this at the moment. Just because we don't need to. And supply coming through here is limited. We're gonna hop up to one of these islands here. And come back for more and do it again. Okay, yes, let's see. We really don't need to increase our starting experience. We're not doing that many troops. Money, well, we don't need any more money. Not that I don't like money for this game, but it just don't need that. Our organization is doing well. So we'll go with the manpower, just a minor 25, but still that's a decent. We're going to save the money at this point. I don't know if they're going to build air bases anywhere where we need more big air bases. Oh, and we've taken out another submarine. Okay, good. More than that. Motorized than an armored force. Okay, you guys... Well, no, let's cancel this. Okay, we'll send you through now. You through there, and you get strategically sent up. I don't care if it is. These are given to Vichy. I don't think there's any resources there. Well, one of the ports for sure for myself, but 4-engine armament research. Okay. I think we can end that for the moment. It's improve crew layout. Order placed for aircraft. Who wants it? Finland. Okay, we'll go with Finland. Ah, the Maria Theresa division. The SS Free Willing Cavalry Division Maria Theresa, the famous Austrian Empress. Let's see. Yes, part of Conflict Division Center. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Like a lot of these divisions. They were formed up from various depots, elements like the formerly in the 8th SS Cavalry Division that were being chopped up and destroyed in other locations. So we'll take that. That's good. Another hero has emerged. I left this playing from the last episode so that we're getting some more events that have been delayed. Okay, this is another interesting story. As it says, one of our BF 110G night fighters, pictured there with all of its radar, I forget the name of the radar, is chasing a British Lancaster and has engine trouble and is forced to land in Switzerland. That's this little country I'm sure most of you are familiar with. And it has the FUG 220 Liechtenstein radar, as well as the Skrugmunsk gun installation. I think that's the sort of the vertical shooting gun installation. I think, because I'm not sure if it's Skrugmunsk, Munsk, whatever, Munsk. Yeah, it's just music, I guess. Okay, well, Scrug music. Is that is sort of vertical in sort of the rear or center sort of seats, I think. At least I've seen some of that pictured. That bombers at night, are sort of hard to see. Of course, they're at night. That's why they're flying there. But if you get real close to them, right around the exhaust on a lot of the engines, these you can see things going over the wings, so that makes them extend the exhaust way out back, so you don't see the flame. But normally if you get close enough to it, you can see the flame. And that's why they're putting this on the night fighters, is if you got close to the bombers, they could see your flames as they come to the gunners on the bombers to be able to shoot at you. Most bombers weren't specifically done over for night. Even the British, who were primarily flying at night, So if you got close to them with the radar, you normally use the radar to get very much in the vicinity of them. Once you're fairly close, you can see the flames on them, and then you come in just below them. I'm showing you with my hands, of course you can't see. You fly in just below them, and then you shoot up into the underside of the bomber, and of course dive away, and the bomber heads into the ground. So that's how they would operate those a lot. And also, generally speaking, they'd use whatever the other radar types that Canhuber set up to get the close-in radar, get the fighter craft close to it, generally close, and they pick it up with their own radar on board. So that's how they'd operate. Well, one of these landed in Switzerland, and the Germans panicked because Switzerland was a hotbed of supplies. Not supplies, spies. I think there may have been flights from Britain. Not sure about that. I'm pretty sure from Ireland there were flights to Switzerland from whether Swiss Air or Aer Lingus or whatever the Irish Air, and there are definitely flights from Spain and definitely flights from Sweden to Switzerland, whether in Swiss Air or some other thing, that were scheduled at certain times. Everyone knew when they were flying, and with all sides saying, don't shoot at these, and they you can see and we'll get to it in a minute, the markings on the underside of a Swiss airplane there, brightly marked with red and white to don't shoot at us, so that there were lots of, or some escaped prisoners that did make it into Switzerland. Sometimes those who were interred, sometimes they escaped their internment because often it was just, oh, you're going to live in this house kind of thing, and you've got to be there every night, but you can go out into the whatever during the day. Sort of, a lot of it was sort of that kind of internment. There was also a huge refugee population moved into Switzerland, Jews and others. Lots of various just anti-Nazis, anti-Germans that had made it into Switzerland that were in various stages of internment there, and them and everybody else would periodically get to a British embassy or consulate or some other similar consulate, and then be given papers as a British businessman, no longer as a British down pilot, but now he's British businessman, and then he would go get on an airplane. That on that airplane would also be a German spy, because he's going to go spy somewhere else, or a diplomat or businessman or whatever, and everybody just gets on the airplane and flies to Madrid or wherever in Spain, and then goes about their business. So this was a hotbed of spies. And so the Germans knew that if you give them any time, the Swiss are going to take a look at that aircraft, and probably some spies, whether sympathetic Swiss that are sympathetic to the Allies or just simply for money, we're going to let them look at that radar. Well, one, if you look at the radar, you can copy it to create better, because I do believe, not sure on this, not a big radar expert, but I do believe the German night fighter radar was better than the Allied. The Allies, I remember the Black Widow, it's the P-52 Lightning, the sort of dual tail boom fighter. The Black Widow was the one of the American night fighters. I do believe the Germans may have had better, but I'm not sure on that. But even if it's not better, it's just different and different ways of going about things, so that the Allies would learn the Germans would get better. Plus, also, if you learn the exact frequencies and how they work, you could build better on plane jammers. You could put a jammer that spews out jamming, for short, but waves that counteract what the Germans would be seeing to mess up them. So they panicked over this thing. And they knew they weren't going to get their fighter back. They didn't even care about getting their fighter back. They wanted it destroyed immediately. And I mean like burnt, destroyed, not just sort of a little bit. They wanted this done. So every day, every hour that it sat in Swiss custody, meant more and more a chance that their secrets would get out, and in detail, not just sort of in general. So earlier, as we've seen, we've sold 109s of various models to the Swiss, and you can see one of them there, and that's the underside. The white on the aircraft, and the sort of gray in between there is red. And that's just, they put that on the underside, so primarily so that Swiss anti-aircraft gunners wouldn't shoot down Swiss aircraft. They weren't terribly trigger happy. There was at least one case of Allied bombing of a Swiss town along the border, because I think it was the British, but forget who. It was lit up because the Swiss didn't have any blackouts, and the bomber pilots, I think stupidly, decided, well, there's an easy target, let's go for it. And didn't realize that only neutral cities would be lit up. But like I say, the Swiss weren't particularly trigger happy, because obviously this night fighter came in, and there were multiple cases, and it was sort of to some degree a routine that if you were heavily damaged and you were near Switzerland, fly to Switzerland. Make sure you destroy, especially for the Americans, the Norden bomb site before you land. That was sort of the equivalent of, and it was an excellent bomb site, works great in the Arizona desert, where the air can be quite still and crystal clear, but in cloudy Europe it didn't work so well. But they still didn't want the Germans to get their hands on it, so yes, destroy that site before you land, or whatever. But otherwise, yeah, you know, rather have you landing in Switzerland, and then be interred in Switzerland than be prisoners of war in Germany. So that there was a fair amount of that going on, and maybe this is the only German fighter landing, or other. I'm sure there were other stray craft that, you know, pierced the border and then went back, and the Swiss probably weren't shooting at them because they weren't terribly hostile. But I'm sure there were presumably other Germans that landed in Switzerland. But this was the sort of special high-tech information case that they were worried about. And so the Swiss were doing these markings on primarily the underside of the aircraft, so that their anti-aircraft gunners wouldn't shoot them down. And part of the problem is they were flying at least from a distance, identical model of aircraft as the Germans. Generally, it was an older model by one or two letters, but wasn't that, you know, different enough, so you need to distinguish it, so you couldn't just do it from silhouette. And it would also, of course, affect if the Swiss pilots had to shoot at each other, or had to shoot at the Germans, you know, dogfight. You don't want one Swiss pilot targeting another Swiss pilot thinking it's a German fighter if they ever went to war. So they went with at least on the underside. On the above side, I think it was on the tail, and a little bit the bright Swiss red markings. I'm pretty sure I found a color photo, but it wasn't that great, and I wanted to stick with the gray theme, but you can sort of get that. So we have a choice. We can sell some fighters, and this is what happened. The Swiss wanted, or give. I mean, this time, unlike before, this is a give. Give some more 109s to Switzerland to beef up their air force, and they will destroy the fighter immediately, or we don't give. And so here we lose 2,500 supplies, which is sort of equivalent. If somebody wants to think it should be more or less, let me know of at least a good squadron. I forget exactly how many. I think it was 20 or more fighters. Give them, and the Swiss will get an OB that gives them the fighters. And we improve our relations a little bit with Switzerland. Or both Britain and the United Kingdom will get events that will give tech boosts to various techs. Don't remember exactly, but some of them that help with the radars. And maybe, I'm not sure if they'll help with relations with Switzerland or not, but so we don't, well, Britain, it doesn't really matter anymore, I don't think, but we don't want to do, we don't want to give America our night fighter technologies. So we'll say yes. Renew synthetic. Okay, we have more synthetic industry working. That's great. So and that happened around this time, give or take a few months. I'm not sure because some of these events are happening a bit later than historically. So interesting history from World War II and diplomatic relations and spies and all of that. That was all going on. If you wanted to be a spy, you could make lots of money at this time. And you could still be patriotic. And of course there were lots of spies that didn't do anything for any money or anything other than minimum sort of operational money, and any extras returned to whatever treasury. Okay. I was finding I didn't have enough. I know I popped all of my current production of engineers to the top. They have the longest lead time of sort of my generic general support brigade, so we'll get some of those. Producing, not sure that we'll need them, but since core HQs don't give combined arms benefits, we'll do some of those. Though if you put a battle commander, I'm pretty sure that gives you space for combined arms benefits. If you give that to your core HQs, you know, your core, you know, HQ battle groups, that'll do it. And then also the sort of combined arms battalions will also do that as well. Let's see, we'll do a couple more, just a couple more heavy. Heavy anti-aircraft. We'll do some rocket artillery. And to make sure the rocket artillery will do a... Now I have a bunch of trucks, but we'll do just a couple of half-track transports. I know a few of you wanted me to convert everything over to them. They use a lot of fuel. It's sort of their negative aspect. More than just, you know, their cost of production. So they're good. I like them, but I don't want to move the whole army over to half-track transport. Having a few, certainly that's very good, but not everything just because, you know. And also did a few of the Schützen brigades, and we'll do a few more of those. These guys here, yeah. A couple more of them. And we'll do another escort carrier. A pair of light cruisers. And how are we doing on these? Okay, we got 50 being built. Okay. We're still protecting our... Okay, now these guys. Well, let's put them off the US coast here. So passively. more. Let's put these guys counterintuitively up here to see what we can mess with the Canadians. Okay, they all board up. Okay, we need to run supplies for Paramambo, or however you pronounce that. Well, we also need to just go out of Wilhelmshaven. Gotham or whatever there. Make sure they keep moving. These guys here. Ooh, we've got a battleship there, it looks like. What is that? What is that? WH? H? The Warspite or something? WAR? That Warspite? Okay, could be the Warspite. Now, we need, before we go any further, let's, and they're still not available. Okay. I want some naval bombers. Well, I wanted you, needed you down there, but now I need you up here. Let's also increase that and those as well. Maybe we should use the Gross Bay, or maybe we should build a combined fleet. No, we're at least going to wait for some naval bombers to get there. I need these guys to get out of production here. Would have thought, these guys, I need all of these out of production. Once these hit, these are going to jump forward because of practicals, and these are going to produce forward, and I'm going to need more. Well, there's some more here, okay. Yeah, there's still some more coming. But I need more. Trying to plan ahead. No, damn button. And naval bombers as well. So plan ahead a bit there. Let's be thoughtful. I can change my gaming style if I wish and start being thoughtful. Okay, we have these. Do I send those guys out? Yeah. Okay, who are we gonna send up into the icy north here? Okay, that's the only one that I think that they can go to. So once we get that, we'll secure that. Yeah, we're building what we can. Okay, now we have gotten into place. Gotta take them easy. Let's send the mountain troops since they can't attack. They're just occupying. Swing around. Well, R. Okay, now they can get on board. Ah. Okay, see right now if I'm worried if I drop into here, well the Japanese, I mean if we lose and have to go surrender, because this is, those American Marines will be tough I do believe. But if I come over to, well where? They don't even know, they used to own this, Japan. The ball. Well, can we fly into there? Yes. Port Mosby. Okay, we need to get these guys, Rojo Squadron over here, do some reconnaissance for us. Okay, these guys need to attack into there. These guys as support. Hopefully that'll work. Spring mud clears, okay, fine. We just need to see what kind of air superiority over. Let's see what kind of occupation they have. Uh-oh. Tangling with. Okay, garrisons. And a bunch of bomber types. Some fighters, those are probably the Americans. Okay, that's it for your operation. You did your job. I don't think I want to go in there with just 2 divisions. Commando training advanced. And we'll let that go. Are my seaplanes in? Yay, that's what I'm looking for. Okay, we're going to think about, well, maybe we're ball. Can we get to there? From here? No, that's too far. We can get to there, we'll think about that, and then air supply and march across territory maybe. That could work. Rest the corps over here, and we're resting with these guys, get them organized. Okay. Or just a few of them. I don't know. Help their production. You know, since we're using a lot of them. Well, let's do an air landing infantry along with Paris for sort of a reinforced. This will be a heavy unit to move. We'll reinforce it with amphibious armor, which is air droppable. We will put in, let's see, is this increased days? Well, I've got, as long as I don't use up these last 2, I think, well, no, those are rockets. These last 2 airborne artillery units, we won't have to delay for that, so. Okay, 117 days. If we don't increase that. Now. Let's see, we'll use motorcycles because they're also airdroppable. We'll use light vehicles, they're airdroppable. And a divisional headquarters, so we're still at 117 days. That's a pretty badass unit. So that would get us a fairly heavy hitting para unit. If we can attach the artillery to them. So let's do that, plus I wanna, because I don't want to increase production time. We'll do just one commando. And sort of, if you will, a replacement airborne artillery. And also we need all these islands and places. Let's go with tropical island garrison and an anti-aircraft gun. A bunch of those divisions. Well, they're not really divisions, they're sort of reinforced brigades, but okay. So that will help us. So we have the 10th Falsamir Division that's going to sort of be a motorized Panzer type airborne division, truly. So unlike the Hermann Goering Division, which had lots of heavy armor, this will just have super light armor, but be able to do the job. Yeah, run into a couple, 2 or 3 proper armored divisions. If the Americans have built that, they'll take them apart. But they'll be much more than a one without it. Okay, yeah. There we go, we want to do that. Get them operating up in here. One there. So we're confronting the Americans here. Let's see, they got a battleship. CV-6 and DD-40. So we definitely need that air moving around here. We're going to take the time right now. I know we're in the middle of an episode. I was sort of maybe waiting to form them up here so it's easier, quicker to attach to the HQ. Okay, let's see. The difference in the naming, these are still coming off the Germany file, common files of squadron names. With this, we've run out of them here, and they're just naming them after the type, and then giving a number after it. So this is more cool looking, though it's not going to be Hans Kammler. I have plans for him one day, not in this series or whatnot, but for a cool mod I'm going to build one day. Okay. And attach that to... Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Okay, they're right down here. Complete your course, C. So... Pretty sure I've talked about that before, so I won't do that. Oh, no. I'm going to go over there. Probably told you guys this, but I figure not everybody's watching your episodes, and since we keep seeing his name here, Hans Kammler was reported dead. He died 3 different times in 3 different locations, very different methods. That's one of the bits of evidence, shall we say, that he may have survived the war. I'm sure he's dead, obviously, by now, but and these are all supposedly very credible and well-documented deaths of his. You know, all at the very last few days of the war, and how he died. And they are supposedly all, I'm not sure of it, that's why I'm saying supposedly, all of sort of, did I, oh, no, okay, I was, okay. Okay, that's alright. And that they were at least, incident-wise, somewhat independent of each other. So, the sort of thought is that maybe either these people just sort of thought when they were asked or whatever questioned about it, wanted to, oh, he must have died, you know, made up a story just because they thought it would help him out because they knew he was hiding or trying to hide from the Allies. So they made up oh, he died at this incident and gave an incident and everything, and when he died, and they all just decided to cover for him without instruction. And so they believed him to be alive, because why would you give a fairly elaborate information as to when and how and where he died if you had no idea, if you knew you had no idea what his fate was, if you didn't presume he was alive? Because if you knew he died in some plane crash, you'd just say so, and that was, like, I think one of the things. But why would you, if you didn't know, why would you say that he shot himself or whatever it might have been? You would just give the story, and these were supposedly different, sparsed around incidents. Or if you presumed that he was alive, and so you wanted to cover his tracks, or you were specifically ordered to cover his tracks by tell them I'm dead somehow, make up a good story kind of thing. No airbase here yet. Send another one of these over here. Send one of these down here to better bomb this area of the ocean. Wow. We'll send them out here. Actually now, I'm going to go right back here. Probably should have just kept them there. Pick up some of the Marines. We're going to go after Barbados. Okay. Partisan suppression. Improve security units. Okay. Yeah, that'll help a lot of our various occupational forces for sure. Starting to get back above 100% on officers. Okay, well, not sure if it'll be particular of use, but let's make another Marine division here. I'm making a bit more of a cheaper one. So, tank artillery. Divisional HQ. Oh, let's spend the fuel, do light vehicles. See, I also believe, I need to look up the stats, but I believe light vehicles will get you off the ship. Your debarkation. A lot. We're going to do motorcycles for reconnaissance. And I want to do anti-tank. Just because if we're bumping into American armor of some sort, that'll be a bit better. And we'll do... I'm going to do a few more long-range fighters. We could use some of them just as squadrons, but definitely also for escorts as well. Yeah, but we're messing with them. Messing with them Canadians. Well, they finally got... Ooh, look at. That's light armor there with some other stuff. Finally made it into the British territory. I don't know that there was ever enough time that I tried at least twice to get motorized units across here without the Allies sending, presumably mainly the Canadians sending a ships there that blocked it. So we'll see if they attack us here. But if we ever look like we're getting near a loss, I'll just move some ships in here, and which will stop any attack. Oh, good, we've got support there. Yay, we're fighting the Bhutanese. What are we doing here? Ooh, there. We've already got... Okay, we're gonna stop. We still have organization. And they're shot, so they're not going to do good bombing. We'll see about that. They'll lose organization from lack of supplies here eventually, so... Ooh, the Japanese are really losing here. Okay, well what we're going to do is... we'll see about going after Rabaul here maybe next episode. Do a fly-in supplies and such. I can hold what I've got here once I get some of these guys over, especially with this Panzer Grenadier Division. That'll stop the Marine Corps, I'm pretty sure. It might not be very good for advancing through the jungle here, but it'll stop them. But okay, well, they've got plenty of ports, so we can supply that. Japan doesn't look like they have... That was what I thought about sending in reinforcements, but they may be retreating because of lack of supply, if nothing else. I don't want to put my soldiers into that mess or make it worse for them. We could take up here, Admiralty Islands. Okay, we'll do some moves here and be able to outflank them and help that there. I just also don't really want to, with this light force, plunge into Australia. Might win, but just too big of an unknown. How did they ever send over some more police units? Not yet, they haven't made it there yet. Okay. These guys, let's see. Yep. Add more mischief to them. Okay, well I think that'll end this episode. I'm having lots of fun. Thank you for viewing. Thank you for liking the videos. I do appreciate it. Please post comments. Love hearing from you. See you next time.